Hi, in today's video I'm gonna show you how to put the vinyl floors. So I'm using life-proof planks from Home Depot, and I had a carpet in this room before. So most important thing before you start, make sure that the area you're gonna be working on is clean and clear of any debris. I had a carpet over here, so make sure all the nails are out. So when you're gonna be putting your vinyl floors, there's gonna be no bumps. If you see any bumps, anything on the floor that may be, see, like this is a nail that is sticking out, so you need to remove it. Make sure that the surface area is flat, so preparation is the key. For this project you're gonna need a couple of tools, of course a square. If you have any bumps, you may want to use a chisel, hammer, and there are special tools, something like this, to pull the planks, especially when you're gonna be installing that on the corner and you need to pull one. So this is what it's for. Plastic black, just to tap onto the planks to push it together. Of course, tape, some scraper, pencil. I'm also gonna have a table saw and a couple of different types of saws. A couple of clamps to clamp it to the table. And I'm gonna use this jigsaw for cutting out the areas in between the doors. Now to visually see how my layout is going to look, I have a 1/4-inch spacers, and along the entire width of the room, I see that if I start with the full plank, I'm going to end up with a piece like this, which is way too small to be in a corner. So what I need to do is I need to start with the half plank to have a little bit more area over here. And then if I start with the half on the left, then I'm going to end up with the bigger piece over here. So planning is the key. You don't want to have steps like this, as you can see on this video, because first of all it doesn't look good, and basically all you see is the steps so close together that it really is not a good job whatever put this floor on. So you want to have a staggered pattern. You don't want to see the steps left and right. The planks I'm using are 7mm thick. They have a underlayment glued in, so this is moisture barrier together with some foam, which also works as the noise cancelling system. And we have the grooves right here, locking system on one end, and also on this end we have one groove and locking mechanism. Looks like this. Now lengthwise I'm checking the alignment, and actually this looks pretty good. So if I start with the full plank at the left side, I'm gonna end up with about a little bit more than half left on this side. This is the cut that I'm making along entire plank for all the planks on the first row along the wall. I'm gonna use the first plank as my template to make a straight line, so all the planks are the same width. This way no more measuring. All you have to do is just make a line, cut another one. Now for the first row, we need to line up the planks, and this groove, you can see this notch right here, we'll have to lock into place with this one. So I'm gonna line it up, make sure there is no debris inside of that groove, so locking is going to be perfect. Then make sure you line up properly your joint, and then I'm going to go and tap this in place to lock in place. So my first row is done. I started with the full plank, and then I ended up with having the plank in about a little bit more than a half of its length, and got my spacers. And as you can see later, when I'm going to put a core around, it's gonna be enough space even in those places where the wall is not as straight to hold that floor like this. Now the second row, I'm gonna start with 1/3 the length of the plank, and all you have to do is just make sure that there are no debris in this connecting channel. Okay, and then gonna line it up. I like to do this to make sure that everything is smooth. Make sure that you are lined up. Push this way and push it down. Make sure it clicks. If the joint is without any gaps, it means that you have a good connection. Now I'm gonna go and start putting the straight planks, and then I'm gonna end up with 2/3 at the end. Second row. First, line it up in the channel. Make sure it slides. Go to the end. And then we're going to go and click it. Even though it's not as easy as the last one, because normally I would just step on it and make sure push it right in the middle to don't have any gaps. So right now I still have little gaps, so I need to tap it on the foot right here. I'm going to tap on this block. It doesn't want to click. So I'm going to go and tap this again. Now it's up. Need to make sure that there are no gaps in the joints. Now this joint over here, I'm gonna see if I can just push it in. Yeah, and then it just clicked. But I'm still gonna take the block and I have a little gap right here. So now I'm gonna take this tool and I'm gonna pull this part in. I'm gonna put my foot right here to block it, and I'm gonna pull that. There you go. Now there is no gap. So I'm done for today. It took me about 5 hours to do this room, and I'm just too tired to finish last 2 rows. That's gonna be just the end of it. Now I'm doing the last row. So in between the roofs, I'm going to use the threshold. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but just in case something happens, then I have this transition, and then I'm gonna be able to easier to deassemble each room individually. So this is gonna be the truck that's gonna go to the threshold. If that's not gonna hold, you can just put a regular liquid nail. And I'm using this tool. I can give you the link in the description of the video, so you can basically outline the corners so you can nicely cut it around. Right here actually it went a little bit under, so I only have like 2 more planks to do, and right at another threshold I already put my threshold on with liquid nail holding the truck, and I put a couple of those planks just to hold it for a couple of hours before this sets in, and that's gonna be ready to assemble. So next room it's gonna be even easier because when I checked, I don't even have to cut any pieces on the side because it's going to fit perfectly from full plank to the full plank. And I'm going to have another transition right here, and then there's gonna be another threshold right by the balcony. So basically the project is pretty simple. It takes time, a little effort, but this is my probably fourth floor I'm doing. But the first one we're using a vinyl. I have to say the material is very easy to work with. First of all, because you don't really need to put any padding. It is a little bit more flexible, and if you make it wet, nothing's gonna happen. The one thing that I noticed that is not as good as on my laminate floors is the joints are really not that strong as what I've used to have on my quick step. Those joints are a little bit easier to break if you want to deassemble. And another 5 hours of work, and I have another room finished. It's 11 by 13, and it actually turns out that the last row does not really have to be cut. The last plank, all I have to do is just shave the edge of it, and the plank is going to fit perfectly in a row. And now you need to use this edge tool to pull it in. Okay, and right on the edge. Okay, looks pretty good. Right. So now the last piece will go the same way, and then all I have to do is put a coil around, which I don't have to show you how it's done. And then of course you need to put transitions. So there is this transitional piece that here I'm going to use a liquid nail to glue this in. Then the threshold piece will go on top. So if you have any questions, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.